though he may be useless," said the third fiend. "He is still Ju 8 Rules, a disciple of the Tang monk. Let's tie him up and send him to soak in the pond in the back. When his hairs are soaked off, we'll rip open his belly, cure him with salt and sundry him. He'll be good with wine when it turns cloudy." Horrified, 8 Rules said, "Finished. Finished. I've run into a fiend who's a pickle merchant." The various fiends all joined in and had Idiot hog tied before hauling him to the edge of the pond. After shoving him out toward the center of the pond, they turned and left. The great sage flew up into the air to have a look, and he found our idiot half floating and half submerged in the pond, with his 4 legs turned upward and his snout downward, snorting and blowing water constantly. He was a laughable sight indeed, like one of those huge black lotus roots of late autumn that has cast its seeds after frost. When the great sage saw those features, he was moved to both anger and pity. "What am I to do?" he thought to himself. "He is, after all, a member of Buddha's birthday feast. But I'm so mad at him, for at the slightest excuse he will divide up the luggage and try to run off. And he's always egging Master on to cast that tight fillet spell on me. I heard from Sha Monk the other day that he had managed to put away some private savings. I wonder if it's true. Let me give him a scare. Dear great sage." Flying near 8 Rules' ear, he assumed a different voice and called out, "Ju Wuneng, Ju Wuneng. Of all the rotten luck," mumbled an apprehensive 8 Rules. "Wuneng happens to be a name given to me by the Bodhisattva Guangxuyin. Since I followed the Tang monk, I have also been called 8 Rules. How is it that someone at this place should know me as Wuneng?" Unable to restrain himself, Idiot asked, "Who is calling me by my religious name?" "It is I," replied Pilgrim. "Who are you?" asked Idiot, and Pilgrim said, "I'm a summoner." "Officer," said Idiot, growing more and more alarmed. "Where did you come from?" Pilgrim said, "I've been sent by the 5th Yama King to summon you." "Officer," said Idiot, "please go back. Inform the 5th Yama King that, for the excellent friendship he enjoys with my elder brother, Sun Wukong, I should be spared one more day. Have me summoned tomorrow." "Rubbish," replied Pilgrim. "As the proverb says, when Yama at 3rd watch wants you to die, who dares detain you till 4th watch goes by? Hurry up and follow me, so I don't have to put the rope on you and pull you along." "Officer," said Idiot, "I'm asking no big favor of you. Just look at my face. You think I can live? I know I'm going to die, but I want to wait one more day until those monster spirits have my master and the rest of them captured and brought here. We can then enjoy a last reunion before we all expire." "All right," said Pilgrim, smiling to himself. "I have about 30 other people here to be rounded up. Let me go get them first, and that'll give you another day. You have any travel money? Give me some." Idiot said, "How pitiable. Where does a person who has left home have any travel money?" "If not," said Pilgrim, "I'll rope you up and you can follow me." "Officer," cried 8 Rules, horrified, "please don't rope me. I know that little rope of yours has the name of the life dispatching cord. Once you put it on me, I'll breathe my last. Yes. 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 I do have a little, but not much." "Where is it?" demanded Pilgrim. "Take it out quickly." "Pity. Pity," replied 8 Rules. "Since I became a priest, I have bumped into a few philanthropic families who wanted to feed the monks. When they saw that I had a large appetite, they handed me a few pennies more than they gave my companions. Altogether, I have managed to save about 5 maces of silver, but all that loose cash is hard to carry. When I last visited a city, I asked a silversmith to have it forged into a single piece. He turned out to be most unscrupulous, for he stole a few kandarines and I was left with a piece of silver weighing but 4 maces and 6 kandarines. You may take it." This idiot said Pilgrim to himself, smiling. Doesn't even have a pair of pants on him. Where can he be hiding it? He asked. Hey, where's your silver? It's stuffed inside my left ear, replied 8 Rules. I'm all tied up, and I can't get it for you. Take it out yourself. On hearing this, Pilgrim reached into the ear and found the piece of silver, shaped like a saddle. It did in fact weigh about 4 mace and 6 tendaran. When he took hold of it, he could no longer refrain from letting out a loud guffaw. Recognizing at once that it was the voice of Pilgrim, our idiot, floating in the water, began to let loose a string of abuses. You damned ban horse plague, he cried. I'm in such straits already, and you have to come extort money from me. You overstuffed pig, said Pilgrim, laughing. In his attempt to protect Master, Old Monkey has undergone who knows how much affliction. But you even managed to stash away private savings. Shame on you, replied 8 Rules. What sort of private savings is this? It's something that has been shaved off my teeth. I couldn't bring myself to spend it on my mouth. I was hoping to save it for one garment on my back, but you have to scare it out of me. Give me back a little of that silver. Not even half a tendaran, answered Pilgrim. I'll give it to you as ransom money then, scolded 8 Rules. But you'd better rescue me. Don't be impatient, said Pilgrim. I'll rescue you. He put away the silver and changed back into his original form. With the iron rod, he teased and guided Idiot in and then hauled him out of the pond by his feet. After he was untied, 8 Rules leapt up and took off his shirt to wring out the water. Shaking it a couple of times, he draped it on his body again, still dripping wet. Elder brother, he said, open the back door and let's scram. Escaping through the back door, said Pilgrim. Is that manly behavior? Let's fight our way out through the front door, 8 Rules said. But my feet are numb from being tied up. I can't move. Just be quick and follow me, said Pilgrim. Dear great sage. He opened up with his iron rod and fought his way out. 8 Rules, though still feeling the numbness, had no choice but to follow him. When they reached the second level door, they found the muckrake standing there. Pushing the little fiends aside, 8 Rules grabbed his weapon and began to rain blows left and right. After he and Pilgrim went through those 3 or 4 levels of door in this manner, they managed to slaughter countless little fiends. When the old demon heard of it, he said to the second demon, That's some fine person you've caught. Now look at what Pilgrim's son has done. He has robbed us of Jew 8 Rules, and they have struck down the little fiends at our door. Leaping up hurriedly, the second demon grasped the lance and ran out of the main gate. Brazen ape, he shouted in a loud voice. You insolent creature! How dare you insult us like this? On hearing this, the great sage stood still, while the fiendish creature, without another word, attacked at once with the lance. Pilgrim, the expert, as it were, was not exercised. Wielding his iron rod, he faced his opponent head-on. Thus the two of them began a magnificent battle outside the cave. An old, yellow-tusked elephant became a man, and sworn bond brother to a lion king. Because the big demon prodded and urged. They all plotted to eat the priest of Tang. Great sage, equal to heaven, of vast magic powers. Would help the right to quell spirits perverse. Inept 8 Rules fell to malicious hands. But Wukong saved him, got him out the door. When the Fiend King gave chase, flaunting his strength, rod and lance joined up, each showing its might. The lance of that one came like a python slicing through the woods. The rod of this one soared like a dragon rising from the sea. The dragon, cloud-shrouded, rose from the sea. The python, mist-enwrapped, sliced through the woods. Come to think of it, 'twas for the Tang monk that they strove bitterly without restraint. Though that 8 Rules saw the great sage fighting with the monster spirit, he did not step forward to help his companion at all. Standing the muckrake on the ground at the mouth of the mountain, he merely stood there and stared dumbly at them. When the monster spirit saw how heavy Pilgrim's rod was, how tautly executed were his thrusts and parries, without the slightest hint of weakness or mistake, he blocked the rod with his lance and stretched out his trunk to seize his opponent. Pilgrim, however, knew exactly what was happening. Raising the golden hooped rod horizontally high above his own head with both hands, he permitted the monster spirit to wrap his trunk around his waist, but his hands remained free. Look at him. His two hands played with the rod on top of the monster spirit's trunk like a drum majorette twirling a baton. When he saw that, 8 Rules beat his breast and cried, "Alas, that monster spirit's so unfortunate. When he caught hold of a ruffian like me, he had even my hands wrapped up so that I could not move at all. But when he caught hold of a slippery creature, he didn't bother to wrap up his hands. All those 2 hands need to do is to jab the rod into his trunk. There'll be pain and snivel in that nostril. How could he hold on to his prisoner?" Now Pilgrim actually had not thought of doing that, but this time 8 Rules managed to give him an idea. Waving the rod once to turn it into a staff over 10 feet long and having the thickness of a chicken egg, he jabbed it into the monster's trunk. Horrified, the monster spirit loosened his hold at once with a loud snort. Pilgrim changed hands and, grabbing hold of the trunk, gave it a mighty tug. To lessen his pain, the monster spirit walked forward in the direction he was pulled. Only then did 8 Rules have the courage to approach them and rain blows onto the monster spirit's side with his muckrake. "No, no," cried Pilgrim. "You have sharp teeth on your rake.